Watches are ultimately very personal things. They can be expressions of who we are, and as someone who adores mechanical timepieces and haute horology, I've consistently resisted the temptation to purchase an Apple Watch in the fear that it's a glorified phone extension. Well, I've finally given into that temptation when the Apple Watch Series 7 dropped. Now, after a full month on the wrist, I have to admit, and surprisingly, it's now hard to imagine going a day without one. And this has been getting a lot of wrist time, and it has genuinely brought a lot of value into my life, but it's not exactly what I thought it'd be either. So I got the 41mm in midnight aluminium, and being the first Apple Watch I own, I came in with zero expectations. My first impression in hand was just how light it is. The Series 7 41mm weighs in at just 32 grams, but that's not to say it feels cheap and flimsy. The iconic curved square holds strong, and the entire unit seamlessly wraps from its display to the chassis. The all-new midnight color is very appealing in person with its very subtle blue tinge, but being a traditionalist, if there was a jet black option, I would have likely gone for that instead. It's just easier to pair with daily outfits. I currently have the watch on a black Nike Sport Loop, and initially it felt a little off-putting coming from leather straps and steel bracelets, but after a month on the wrist, the breathable nylon is an incredibly comfortable and versatile wear day to day, whether at the gym or sleeping. I also find the back of the watch to be oddly aesthetic, housing its circular infrared light blasters and green LEDs core to its health tracking functions, which I'll talk about in a bit. But yeah, I find the back of the watch to be just as handsome, sort of like an exhibition case back, but maybe that's just me. Probably the first noticeable change since the Apple Watch Series 4 is of course its display, although not a major change. And yes, the display is bigger, but is bigger really better? Comparing it to the Apple Watch SE here, it's about 20% bigger in screen size and borders 40% thinner. The new refracted edges and contour watch face is extremely nice though. So on daily wear, catching a glimpse of the refracted edges when your wrist is on the table, for example, is a very nice visual touch. A good watch should be visually appealing at all times, and the always on display is a big part of that equation. With watchOS 8, the two watch faces called Contour and Modular Duo, and also Nike's exclusive Bounce face, take advantage of the new display with its dynamic animations and edge-to-edge design. You also get a 70% brighter display when your wrist isn't raised up. I actually had someone come up to me the other day at a cafe asking me if the Apple Watch on my wrist was the new Series 7. This was spotted based purely on how bright the always on display is. The screen is now also more durable with its thicker front crystal and IPX6 dust resistance rating. This is important to me personally because I see this watch as a beater watch, something I'll use in all sorts of situations without care, and a large reason why I didn't personally get the stainless steel or titanium version is because of this reason exactly. And both the Watch SE and 7 feature 50 meters water resistance too. So being a first time Apple Watch owner, I was keen to see how it integrates into my day-to-day life. My main concern was I'd be more distracted than ever with an Apple Watch, but after tweaking notifications, I find it to be more of a benefit than distraction. But this probably comes as no surprise to most of you who already own an Apple Watch. The mini keyboard also gets a lot of daily use, which is a feature unique to Series 7 on watchOS 8, taking advantage of that larger display. The quick path swipe to type feature is terrific. It's what I use for short replies and voice dictation for longer replies. So quickly responding to texts and messages from the team without needing to reach into your pocket for your phone is definitely a nice luxury. Other conveniences I've found myself using day to day include paying via Apple Pay with the watch, controlling my music at the gym on my watch, having GPS navigation on your wrist, which gives your wrist a buzz when a turn is coming up. I find that really cool. And unlocking the MacBook when it's docked via the Apple Watch is actually pretty awesome. As you can see here, the trend is the benefits of having these controls on your wrist rather than digging around for your phone. Would I say it's changed my life though? Not exactly. It's a nice to have more than a need. One way we quote unquote pay for these perks is by adding another piece of tech into our lives we need to constantly keep charged. The good news is the Apple Watch 7 charges a full 33% faster than the 6. 8 minutes of charging will let you track a full 8 hours of sleep, which is confirmed after a month on the wrist. You just need to ensure you're using a new USB-C fast charger to take advantage of the faster charging. A big shame we cannot charge the Apple Watch on just any wireless charger through like this Orbit Key Nest, for example. Overall, we're still getting 18 hours battery life on a full charge, the exact same as the more affordable Watch SE. For me personally, if I'm using the watch all day, including sleep tracking, I need to find moments throughout the day for a quick charge to ensure there's just enough juice to keep it going. My recommendation is to integrate it into your daily routine. I'll personally leave it to charge for a few hours when I'm winding down after work to get that full charge, which I'll consistently do during the weekdays. Moving on to arguably the most important feature to me, sleep and fitness tracking. Personally, I used a Fitbit to track sleep and fitness, which honestly was great with one caveat: the annual fee of $80 for Fitbit Premium to get the full data insights. The sleep tracking was a major letdown with very minimal insights in comparison to Fitbit or particularly an Oura Ring. And what is up with the always on watch face still being on at night? It literally lights up the room in the dark. So yeah, I had to set up automations to set the always on watch face to turn off during sleep and then to turn back on the function when sleep is turned off. But this approach had a lot of issues. It's just not intuitive, and I found myself ditching the Apple Watch altogether when I was sleeping. So important stats like body temperature and data on each specific sleep stage like REM, light, and deep sleep are missing from the Apple Watch and are genuinely insights I found useful and which I had on the Fitbit. So honestly, this was a big letdown for me, even I'd say the biggest letdown for me when it comes to the Apple Watch. So yeah, I'm hoping that the sleep tracking functionality of the Apple Watch continues to improve in future software updates, given, that the hardware is there to support far better sleep tracking functionality. When it comes to fitness though, the fitness tracking on the Apple Watch is second to none. Those rings get me every single time. The ability to track all sorts of sports and activities is seriously awesome, and if I forget to begin tracking a walk, 10 minutes in, it'll ask me if I want to track the walk and will include the previous 10 minutes I missed. That's the attention to detail I absolutely love with Apple. Tracking also seems to be overall more accurate on the Apple Watch Series 7, with both the Apple Watch SE and Fitbit being a touch more conservative in its tracking. For general health tracking, the blood oxygen readings for detection and ECG measurements new to the Watch 7 are welcome additions, although I don't find myself using these often. I spend most of my workouts in the gym weightlifting, so it'd be super neat to see the Apple Watch track the weight you're pushing or pulling, but I have no clue whether or not this is actually possible, but nonetheless, one can dream. It also has to be mentioned, the Apple Watch just works so much more seamlessly if you're already in the ecosystem, from AirPods to even your Apple TV. For example, using Apple Fitness Plus Workout, you can track your metrics on screen from your heart rate to calories burned in real time. Not to mention the ability to use your Apple Watch as a remote for your Apple TV. So as a generational upgrade, the Apple Watch 7 is an evolution, not a revolution. But speaking to the Apple Watch as a newcomer, there's absolutely no denying it has added value day to day. This single device has given me access to small conveniences that, when all stacked up, bring added enjoyment and fulfillment to my life. Stowing the phone away and yet being connected, getting immediate access to health metrics and the weather, or just accessing my MacBook and managing smart lights all from my wrist is pretty awesome to have. But, and here's a pretty big but, the Apple Watch does not hold the same allure and presence as a mechanical watch. This Apple Watch here will probably be redundant in 5 years' time. And I guess that's the caveat. Electronic devices need to be constantly upgraded, so not only does it remain functional, but also trendy. This does promote technical innovation, I guess, but there is something special to a mechanical watch, which is timeless. I've had a very simple Seiko 5-piece handed down to me from my dad that has traveled the world, and I'm able to hand down my own mechanical watches as heirlooms that will retain so much sentimental value. And this is something that an Apple Watch will never replace. But to be fair, it wasn't ever meant to be that in the first place. The Apple Watch Series 7 will be getting a lot of wrist time, especially when it comes to workouts and general day-to-day use, but for those fancier occasions, I'll still be reaching for my traditional mechanical watches. If you got this far into the video, comment the code word HOROLOGY and drop a like if you enjoyed this video, subbed if you'd like to see more tech, marketing, and business content from me. And don't forget, depending on when you're watching this video, of course, I'm giving away an Apple Watch. More details dropped in the description box down below. As always, thank you for watching.